Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. Today is a special, so it's part two of the show on SDGs. And today we're going to Nigeria and we might be going to Ghana as well. So get ready. You're going to meet some of the game changers doing amazing work on the ground to implement the SDGs. We have the queen of SDGs in Nigeria, Mama SDG, and we also have Yetunde doing, some amazing work with youth. And I know that you're going to enjoy and really be inspired by what they're doing in their communities and the effort that they're putting to make sure that nobody is left behind. So get ready, have your pen, paper, and make sure you ask questions. Let us know where you're watching from, and you will not be disappointed because those ladies are really something. They are real ambassador of greatness, and you're gonna know why I call them hidden figures because you probably don't see them, but the amount of work that they're doing is just amazing. So let's just bring them on and start an amazing conversation, understanding what they do, why they are doing it, and what are their dreams, because they still have dreams. Even if they put all those effort, they still have big dreams, and we're going to know what are those big dreams. So let's start. Have your pen, get ready, come in, and we're good to go for an hour and maybe 2 hours, like the part one. So don't go anywhere. We are coming. Another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Begold Global Leadership Organization.
Like now? Is it all right? Okay, let's get started right into it. And that is the power of labels, right?
On memories, but as I got older, I started to be more aware of some of the abusive sides of
So welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour show, all my hidden figures. Today you're going to be known by everybody, and I'm really excited to be able to showcase and give you the opportunity to tell us what you're doing, the amazing work that you're doing on the ground to make sure nobody's left behind and to implement the sustainable development goals that are being implemented all over the world. So before we get to this point, I really want first you to introduce yourself to the audience and let us know who you are and whatever is important to know about you. So I'm going to start with the queen of SDGs, Mama SDG. Please let the audience know who you are.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from Nigeria. My name remains Ijeoma Obiajunwa-Ajiamah. People call me Mama SDGs. They call me Mama SDGs because they say I'm doing a lot of amazing work. So who am I to say no to that? I am a global citizen. I work around SDGs Goal 3, which talks about good health and well-being. I work around SDGs Goal 16, which talks around about peace, justice, and strong institutions. But basically, the core of all the work I do around the SDGs is around Goal 4, which is talking about quality education. So all I have done so far is all about creating awareness, carrying the campaign to door to people to say the world is talking about the SDGs. The United Nations have come about a project that's going to bring sustainable development to Africa and to all parts of the world. This is how you can be part of this project. You need to know how to hold your leaders accountable. You must know how to be able to put in the leaders of your choice and not just allow anybody to just get into office and rip you off and deny you of sustainable development and dividends of democracy. And so even if these people somehow get in there, look at what the steps you need to take to be able to ensure that you take your destiny into your own hands by asking questions and ensuring that you get answers, and not just answers, that you get solutions to those problems around you, which will give us, an overall assessment by at the end of 2030 to say, okay, um, project Agenda 2030 is actually a success. It's everybody's call. It's everybody's call. Thank you.
So SDG is everybody's cause, and that's the message that we know we need to understand. Yes, you guys are leading on the ground, but it's not just about you, it's everybody. Everybody has to make an impact, and everybody has to do their part. So thank you. We'll come back anyway to talk a little bit more about your work, but I wanted to introduce Yetunde. Yetunde, she is doing a lot of work on the ground with the youth, and she's the founder of Dream My Dream Connect, and she is a socially responsible. She's the My Dream Connect is a socially responsible venture, and she's a highly responsible. She's a highly responsible lady who has 100% passion for human life transformation and her work and national development. So hopefully when we get her back, she'll get the opportunity to introduce herself and give more detail, because that's just what I know, but she'll be able to give you more detail on what she does and what's the impact that she's creating working with the youth. But waiting for her, we can already start. We're going to have a small break and have AJ tell us what she's doing. Tell us what she's doing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the month of March. My name is Ijeoma Obiajunwa-Ajiamah. People call me Mama SDGs, and I am a strong SDGs advocate. That's why they call me Mama SDGs, because of the passion I have in making sure that the people around me are aware of the SDGs and how they can be part of the implementation. Now, this is the decade of actions. I work around SDG Goal 3, which is good health and well-being, SDG Goal 4, which is quality education, and SDG Goal 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. In this decade of actions, I want to implore you, please be kind to the universe, be kind to the people around you. Take action today. Try to make the world around you better than you met it. Thank you so much.
So we have this strong message from Mama SDG herself, make the world better than what you find him. So Yetunde is back, and Yetunde, I want you to introduce yourself to the audience and let us know who you are and what you do and what you stand for and what SDG you're focusing on.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yetunde Macaulay. I am an administrator, and then I call myself a life skills specialist. Over the years, I've had a lot of experience around, life, what's it called, activities around life. and I have had a lot of experience with young people and the way they think, the way they behave, the way they react to things, and then also respond. So I thought to myself, originally when I started, I really did not, I wasn't into the SDG thing, or well, maybe I was doing it, but I really didn't get it. So what I do is I was extremely interested in ISR. So I thought, okay, individual social responsibility. What can I do around that? So I started doing something, reaching out to young people to get them equipped mentally and then engage themselves in doing something productive with their lives, and then teaching them on subjects around leadership. So what I do right now is I work on SDG Goal 4, which is all about education. Mentally, we want people to be well educated mentally, technically, and even socially. So what I do is I use computer to help them to have a fantastic life experience. So we teach basically tech. For example, we teach things like graphics designing, web designing, anything around how to use the internet for profitability. Instead of you walking around town doing nothing, why not come to us and then let's give you a skill that you can use, to better your own life personally and also add value to the community where you belong to. So that's what we do. So we work around SDG 4, which is quality education with a focus on SDG 4.4 and 4.7.
So a lot of focus on education, because I know that for Mama SDG that was the same. She's focusing specifically on the education. So why do you think education is important, and how do you think those SDGs are gonna change Nigeria or your communities as as a whole? So where do you see the benefit of those SDGs? Mama SDG, do you want to take this question? You are muted. I muted you just before. You can unmute yourself just on clicking on this one.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, so can I get the question?
So the question is, because you two are focusing on SDG number 4, so that's the quality education. What I ask you is, why do you think not only the SDG are important, but how do you think they're going to change your community, or they're going to change Nigeria, and especially for SDG 4?
Thank you so much, Mirel Telekema. I am very excited to be on this show. Yes, I must tell you, I am so excited. So, talking about education, I believe education is the bedrock of any society. They say knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and information is key. So, I believe that if the people around us can understand the kind of world that we would like to see by the year 2030, if we can paint a picture to them in a way that they will understand it, then they would be excited to be part of that journey. They would see that picture, that mental picture of the world we would like to see by the year 2030. They will like it, and they would like to work with us to ensure that we get there. But if we do not, the Bible talks about you having a vision, you write it down, make it plain, so that he who reads may be able to run with you. If we have this vision and we are not able to make it plain to the people, bring it to the citizens, global citizens, local citizens, the artisans, the market women, the farmers, the out of school girl child. These are the people who need to understand the picture we want to paint, the world we would like to see by the year 2030. If they see this world And they see that we want to see a world whereby by 2030, every girl child must go to school. As in, we must have it as a policy, and not just as a policy, as a working policy, that by the year 2030, we would like every girl child around us to be educated and to be properly or gainfully employed. Either she's self-employed, doing her own thing, she's empowered to be able to do her own thing, or she has a gainful employment that will be able to put food on her table, for her to be able to feed her children, for her to be able to feed her family, for her to be able to be comfortable by herself and not, put herself in a position that will make her vulnerable to the vices in the community. So this is what we are talking about. Without education, without creating this awareness, without bringing these points home to the people, without taking it to the rural areas, to the communities where it is needed, where actually we have the population of people, a greater number of population of people who are, kind of disadvantaged now. So that is why education is key. If we bring it to them and say, we would like you to work together with you, we will want to see a world whereby by the year 2030, you yourself personally that I'm talking to would be in a position to choose your leader. You will be in a position to hold your leader accountable, and you will be in a position to ensure that XYZ that you lack in your community is brought to your community. Then these people will see this picture and they will be able to run. And at the end of the day, you will see that we will be able to achieve because we have carried everybody along. Somehow, people, you cannot give what you don't have. So if we don't bring this knowledge to these people, they will not be able to know what we are doing. And so they may not be able to come in to be part of the solution. That is why education is key. And that is why we must take this campaign. We must take this information to the people at the grassroots, where we have the numbers,
The grassroots.
where we have the numbers, where we have the greatest number of global citizens. We're talking about population, and it is in these areas, these places that you have a greater number of the population of people in this country. So we'll go educate them, they understand it, they come along, they work with us. At the end of the day, we become a success. That is why education is key. That is why education is key.
And that's an important thing to say, like you said, the grassroots, because most of the time we have all those policies and things that are put, together, and it's not actually
concentrated in the urban areas. Yes. Most times we have these things concentrated in the urban. People are just in the urban areas talking to themselves, talking on radio, talking to television, talking everywhere, talking to themselves. Whereas the people who really need this information are not in the urban areas. They are in the rural areas, they are in the semi-rural areas, they are in the farms. You understand? They are in the farm, they are on the streets. So we need to take this campaign off the rural areas, take it to the streets, take it door to door, take it house to house. If possible, take it room to room. These are the people who need it. These are the people who need to take this information to. Yes. And these are the people whose, you see, whom United Nations have said it is their progress that is actually, we use to rate the progress of Agenda 2030. The Agenda 2030 is different from Millennium Development Goals. In the era of the Millennium Development Goals, progress was assessed based on averages. The average, I mean, is based on the next man that has a job, maybe in one ministry, and he has his family, and he's taking care of his family. This time around, in this era of the SDGs, talking about Agenda 2030, progress is going to be measured based on that market woman. How has her business been able to transform from what it used to be to where she is now by the year 2030? That girl child that was out of school sometime that time, how is she faring now? Has she been able to go back to school? Even if she was not able to go back to school, was she able to get along through this our lifelong learning programs? Was she able to get along, learn a trade or learn something, and then she's able to use whatever she gained from the training she got to be able to work and put food on her table? That boy child down there that is doing mechanic behind your house, at the end of the year 2030, the progress is going to be measured based on how has he fed, how has he been able to transform himself in this decade of action for the next 10 years, from the year 2021 to the year 2030. Is he able to on his table? Can he be able to take care of his family? Is he able to take care of his wards? So it is the progress of these people, the farmers, the rural people. It is their progress that is going to be the indicator, one of the indicator for assessing Agenda 2030.
So that's when it's worth reminding them that it's really the grassroots, and that's where most of the population in Nigeria, in Africa, is people who are in the informal, people who are poor, because it's about reducing the poverty. So Yetunde, what do you think? I mean, the question was, what do you think education is one of the key things, and how do you think the SDGs are going to change your community or Nigeria in general and Africa?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, IJ, for that contribution, and thank you, Mirel, for the question. Education. Well, when we look at education, people think majorly the first thing that comes to mind is formal education. Formal education, and I'm like, yeah, formal education is very good. But the truth is, aside from the formal education that we get, there are other educations like the vocational skills, mental health, well-being, understanding, and what have you. That's where we tend to come in. Fine. For us, we believe that for anybody to grow well, you must start young. You must start young. It is what is formed in your brain when you're young that you will go out there to go and exhibit. Many times I've heard my students do it sometimes, and then, sometimes I just want to hear from them, and then you're like, oh, government is bad, Nigerian government is bad, da, 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 da. I'm like, okay, thank you very much. Can I be very honest with you? When you get there, you are likely rather to do even worse things. You know why? Because you're not well educated. If the essence of anything is not known, abuse is inevitable. So if you do not know the reason why you're being created and what your aspirations are, you are likely to go into anything and mess it up because you're not well educated. You are likely to be in a government position where you're supposed to be adding value to the community, and then you're turning it upside down or using it for your own personal benefits. So when they come here, like for example, yes, our focus is more on tech, but the truth is we do much more than that. The essence is for us to not just teach you how to use the computer, but in what many ways you can use the computer to become a better person. So we do that a lot. Now, people are not educated because, in fact, some people are educated negatively. So what I am saying in essence is, when we'll help them to get the right education, some people formally, when it comes to formal education, they are doing very well. But other education like life skills, character-wise, they are not very good. So we need to think about it. Sorry, I think just hold on for me a little bit.
So while you get ready, we're gonna have a small break then, and we'll get back to you.
Hello. Hello. You hear me? Hello. Hello? Hello, can you hear?
So we are back. Yetunde, you can continue. I was just having a break since you were getting
Hello,
ready
I
again.
can see you. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yeah, perfectly.
Oh, okay, because I've been back for a while now. So I don't know. Do you want me to continue or you've moved on to another?
No, you can continue. That's
Okay,
why I put
so
the video to give you time
all right.
to
Okay.
get sorted.
Oh, I didn't see the video. I wish I saw the video. Anyways, it's okay. Yeah, so when we talk about formal education, mentally, some people are not in order. Some young people, yeah, because I've had experiences with some of them, and I'm like, you're not thinking straight. I'll give you an example of a young person who has been given an appointment to resume on a Monday morning. And then you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A reminder was sent to you on Sunday, please resume work on, we're expecting to have you on Monday morning. Do you know what this young guy did? Yes, though he's very young, almost in his 20s. On Monday morning, he wrote a note saying, I am not going to be resuming in your organization. Because of, it was money issues. He wanted more money. That guy shows he lacks character. A lot of them do not know all of these things. And that's how most of them behave around here. I take my time most times to, observe people, especially young people around me, why they behave the way they behave. Some of them, peer pressure makes them behave in a way that, they're copying the wrong thing, either from adults or from their peers. Or, I want to have this, I want to be at this level without understanding. So in our own way to contribute to that goal of SDGs, because it's just beyond talking to them and then they just shout and they leave. For some of them, they are not always mindful when they are in a place of education, in terms of, okay, maybe in the classroom or maybe on the street where they are being educated. Some of them are watering the pains that they have, because I see a lot of young people feeling and sounding frustrated by the situation of the country. I see less young people thinking and trying to act in, trying to take action rather based on these things they are frustrated about. A young guy came to me rather one day, and then it was like, okay, I asked him, what's your aspiration, or what are you going to school to study? He said he will be going to school to study political science. So I asked him why. Yeah, he just wants to be in politics, and then he wants to be able to change the story of the country, and then blah, blah, blah. I said, fantastic. Thank God you're thinking about this at this very young age. So what is the extra thing you're doing about what you're seeing in the future? He just looked at it like, yeah, I should go to school, pass my exams. And so what are you going to do differently from the current president that we have so that we are not having the same situation? The guy could not say anything. So I said, yeah, you need to pay attention. Most of you don't pay attention. Your mind is on, I want to be a big boy. I want to become a senator. I want to become this. I want to become that. But do you know the reason why you're going there is to add value, not just to your family, not just to your pockets, not just to show amongst your friends, or just to announce that, oh yes, I'm doing well. You do well when a lot of people do well with you. You do well when people live well. So this is the best time for you to start working on what you think is not right about Nigeria. It's not enough for you to say you want to become a senator and then maybe after a while you spend some money. When you get in there, the first thing you want to do is get your money back. And then you start siphoning money. Because that's the same thing. You point that same fingers to a lot of them. What are you doing to act differently? So these are the challenges we put across to our young people when they get when we get the opportunity, to train them. So it's not just the tech. So we tell them the tech, the computer you have in front of you, the phone you're holding, how much information are you able to gather with it? How much information are you able to, gather online about how the other countries that are doing well are doing theirs? The friends you're meeting, what are you meeting them for? To ask them for phone? Or to swindle them? Or what are you doing with it? Have you sat down to say, okay, why nations fail? Have you read about it? Have you tried to see, okay, what can I do? What projects are you thinking about? These are the things that we challenge them to take action on. So for us, education is not just about the classroom education. We know that it's all about, you have to experience. It's about life. Yeah, that's how we see education. It's about life. You must be educated beyond just the classroom. You must know that, yes, if I'm saying I want to be the president of Nigeria, what does it mean? The ones that have failed, why did they fail? The ones that we have applauded, why did we applaud them? The ones that look like, oh, yeah, we are doubting, why are they doubting them? So what can I do differently as a young person? Fine, sometimes parents don't help matters. I have seen and heard some parents, so they don't have understanding themselves. Some of them, not all of them. They are very fantastic parents, of which I have some, and I have some mentors that are very fantastic. But there are some parents in their mindset. I've had some of them walk up to me. Oh, they like, a woman walked up to me one day. My own daughter or my own children too, they're going to become Davido. And I'm like, God of mercy. The mindset is we must have a lot of money and we must have a child that is on TV, not a child that is turning the situation of the country around. Not the child that is working with, let's say, for example, NEPA. Yeah, they took lights earlier on. Like, oh, I have a child that is championing, projects in that regard. What are we going to do? Am I helping my child to see that when you get to this place, you can do this much to change the situation? Oh, yes, when you get there, of course, you will have bottleneck. You will have people, you will have barriers. Yeah. How do you deal with the barriers? Are more interested in the financial gains, so that we have a popular family. My child is popular. That's not it. We love the popularity. It's important, fine, if that's what's most important to you. But the value is much more important than the popularity. So when the essence, because I say to people, when God created us all, there is a reason. So if your reason is abused, then you're going to be
Hello? So we're losing Yetunde again. She was bringing some good points, and I think those are points that those are problems that we see in Africa. So go ahead. We lost you at some point. You were talking about values.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying now Madam SDG and our team, they're going to put in a whole lot of effort doing campaigns. We want to be that, we want to help out behind the scene, such that whatever seeds they are sowing is not falling on the wrong ground, but on a good ground where it germinates profitably. Because some people are just out there to just hear, listen, shout, sometimes, okay, for example, I'll give the church as an example. Some people are in the church and the only thing, fine, there's depression, and then some people just want to shout, woo, and that's all they leave the church with. I feel when you think you receive, I want every seed that are not, received properly, we're bound to abuse them. So Madam SDG will not go out there and then be talking to people that are angry without them knowing. She won't know them, and that's the truth. So for us, we want to be able to call their attention to, this is an error. You're thinking this way, it is wrong. Why not think this way and see that the best of you, the real you that God has created, is happening. So that's how we do it. So fine, we are doing tech, but we do much more than tech. So that's why sometimes in fact, most times we're interested in teenagers. Sometimes some people ask me like, you're crazy. They can't pay for you. They can't pay for your service. But I'm like, yes, it's much more than just the training. I'll see what I can do to push myself to ensure that this program holds. So it's not because it's just for them to know tech and then that's all they know. Aside from tech, you learn life skills and you can end up becoming a business person if you choose to be. And if you do not want to be a business person, you should be a fantastic a fantastic administrator, whether you're serving someone or you're serving wherever you serve, let me put it that way. So you become an excellent service provider, excellent servant, whatever you call yourself, and that's it. So that's it for me and my team. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's really very, that's a great message because, I see, and like you, I've seen that, in a lot of countries in Africa, it's about material thing, it's like, okay, to be successful, it's a material. And then we're losing all the values, all the important things in life that are actually going to drive, the country and bring the country to the next level. Because like we know, material comes and go, but that's not something sustainable sometimes. And we lose that. And it's important to bring this message. And like you said, start young, because that's the next generation coming. Start young so that, the young generation really start to, put that take that into account and practice. And that's really important. So before we go to another question, we're gonna have a break. First, we're going to the comments. So Success is here. Hello, Eji and Yetunde. Good to have you both in the show.
Okay.
And then it's just talking about you now, Yetunde. Amazing work. So we'll have video from Mama SDGs. Really, she's where she is in the ground, in the grassroots, and doing a work. So don't go anywhere. Let's see the amazing work that she's been doing on the ground.
Fantastic.
Macaulay Touching Lives International is a non-governmental organization passionate about community development, with a continued efforts in community advocacy and sensitization in leaving no one behind. We envisage the world will be a better place, that human race would live in peace, and the standards of living would increase if the SDGs are advocated for as well as implemented towards sustainable development. In this project, we partnered with TVN, Dean Initiative, Tracker NG, Mackenzie Home for Orphans and Widows, and other organizations. We visited the grassroots and rural communities to sensitize them on how to hold their leaders accountable to help ensure that Agenda 2030 becomes a success. The reason we have come is because we want the people to know and to understand that you have a role to play, that you have a part to play. And that part you have to play is to walk up to you and other members. Yes, is to go to the local government chairman, is to go to the House of Rep member, is to go to House of Assembly member, is to go to the senator in charge of this area and tell them that your area, your community is under their constituency and that you will need this, you will need this, you will need that. That is what we came to tell you that you should do.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm very grateful. As don't enlighten me, I will meet with the lay youths and the elders so that whatever we discuss before we know the way to follow, as you are just saying about the local government chairman and the rest of the people.
As people meet them, if possible, let them write it down. What you want, write it down, so that when you go to greet them, you first of all congratulate them
Yes.
for their election into office. And you will say, you are the chief in the community, and that you and the members of your community, you have come to greet them and to remind them that your community is part of the communities under his constituency, and that you would like him to look into so and so things as you wrote it down.
You approach the local government or even the state government
No,
to see
actually,
if they can partner.
no, actually, I did not tell the local government, the state about it. But as per the road network, I discussed that with the past immediate caretaker chairman of the two local governments. But they keep on promising that they are coming and they are coming, and we don't see them. That is the problem we have with some of our politicians. They will tell you one thing and they will refuse to do it.
Now that funding is coming back to the local government directly from the federal government, do you plan to go back to the local government chairman?
Even if you go, like I said at the beginning, you know, to go, it has to do with whom do you know, how important is your place to them. These are some of the issues. So that they won't say no, and they will not do it. They keep on promising you from time to time, and nothing happens. So that is why I felt that I need to do it. And I discovered that the financial muscle was not there.
We realized that only 2% of the people we visited understood that it is their right to hold their leaders accountable. But through our sensitization project, over 2,000 citizens in the rural areas of FCT, Nasarawa, Kogi, and Benue states heard about the Sustainable Development Goals for the first time. They all learned how to be part of the implementation of the SDGs through holding their representatives accountable.
So if the development, the United Nations Millennium Development Fund has failed over there, they want to start from us. Now, he wants us to comment to the government. Can the United Nations hold the government to ransom?
No, they will not hold the government to
Because the government has made a pronouncement, the Millennium Development Goal. Now, I want to hold Buhari and Co to ransom. 4 or 5 years ago, when he pushed us to develop, I personally went into farming all over the place here. We formed all our cooperatives here, and my people begin to farm. Everybody has been started. They have more than a trailer load of cassava. Now bring the processor now to buy these things and use it now. Nobody to process them again.
As a result of our sensitization, community leaders and their members now know that they have the right to demand for the development of their community from their leaders who they voted into power. We realized that these communities faced similar challenges, ranging from lack of potable drinking water, access to health care, access to good roads, access to schools, access to electricity, and so on and so forth. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we revisited some of these communities, about 5 communities around the FCT, to distribute palliatives and also organize trainings for women and young girls who are into businesses, helping them to be able to maintain their businesses even while the pandemic is still ongoing. Now, this project is an ongoing project, but so far we have understood that visiting the grassroots and the rural areas is key to achieving sustainable development in the FCT and Africa at large. Now, as part of our efforts to ensure sustainable development in these communities, we as an organization are launching a crowdfunding platform to raise funds and revisit these communities to provide solutions to some of the challenges ravaging them in their communities. This is in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, and we hope that each stakeholder here and everybody who would listen to this commentary would be able to contribute their quota
towards sustainable development in their localities.
Fantastic work, Mama SDG, and it's not easy. So, as we can see, a lot of the constituents don't really know their right, and it starts with that. They don't know their rights, so they don't really know what to ask. And what you're doing is just amazing, and it's again about education, awareness, so that they can really play their role as citizens. So one question that I have, how difficult it is, because yes, you're telling them, but do they really implement? Because you going there and after that you leave. So what is the real impact?
Yeah, the real impact is that we have said that in the next 6 months after our first visit, we would revisit. We would revisit these communities, and we will be able to ask questions, look around from the things we saw. We have the videos of the things we saw the last time we went there. We will take new videos of the things that we will see 6 months after. Then we'll interview some people. Yes, we'll interview some people. We will take permission from the chief, and we will ask questions, both from the chief and from the members of the communities. So we will be able to know if actually these things we thought are being put into use. If actually they are able to use the information that we gave them to better their lives in their communities, because that is actually the key. That is the most important thing, is to be able to use the information that we give to better the lives, their own lives, and the lives of members of their communities.
So
Yes.
we'll
So we'll keep
lost you.
following up.
We
We'll
can
keep
see.
following up. Yeah, but you can hear me.
Nice.
Yeah, you can hear me. So we'll keep following up. We'll keep following up. Sorry, never took light, but they're on the generator now. We'll keep following up. We'll keep following up to make sure that the message actually sinks properly, and it will not just sink, but that it will also yield fruits. That the people will make use of it. That the information they are getting will not just be for getting information sake. They will put it into use. They will put it into practice. They will ask questions. They will meet their leaders. They will present their demands. They will follow up with love and in a good relationship with their leaders. They will follow up, and they will be able to get responses, good responses, positive responses from their leaders. And even the children around there, they will be able to bring up these children in such a way that they will develop them in areas of creativity, in areas of critical thinking, in areas of problem solving, in areas of life skills, theater skills and life skills, so that these children, as they grow, they have a wider view of things around them. And apart from that, that they also have a global view of the world that they themselves would like to see at the year 2030. And this will inform the decisions that they make, and it will help them and people around them to be able to work in line with that vision. So at the end, you see that everybody is happy because everybody is part of the solution to the problems in their communities. And that is key. That ownership is key. Taking ownership, of taking ownership of bringing solutions to the problems around you. And taking ownership will now bring you to a point whereby even the people around you will be able to recognize the efforts that you put in. And even the generation that are yet to come will look up and say, this person made efforts for this community. So it's not just for the immediate gain. But if they can understand that this will also put them in a position whereby they become legends amongst their peers around them. They understand it and they work in line with that. then you will see that a lot of people will be interested, because most times people want to know what is in it for me, what is in it for me. So if they understand
Exactly.
that there is something, yeah, that there's something at stake that is in it for them, and they understand it and they work in line with it to put themselves, their footsteps on the sands of time, yes, then they will be happy by the year 2030 when we are talking about success.
Yeah, there is a question for you, Mama SDGs,
Yes,
coming
yes.
from Tina. Tina is based in South Africa. She said, "Great work by Mama SDG. How do you hold community leaders accountable if they are not in support? So, how do you force this process? Because that's also how do you make sure
Yeah.
that they do it? Is there any
Oh, Tina.
mechanism or anything that?" you do to be able to make sure that they're gonna act on.
Wow, Tina from
Mhm,
South Africa. Tina,
mhm,
hi! Glad to hear from you. Yeah, Mama Institute is on the show, is on the hot seat right now. Okay, but
mhm,
I'm gonna tell you, holding leaders accountable is not something you do by force,
mhm,
because these leaders are members of your community. They are
mhm,
members of my community. We are
mhm,
the ones who voted them into power.
mhm,
We are the ones who sent them to represent us.
mhm,
And so, because we gave them our mandate through our votes, they came to us, they solicited for our votes. And we said,
mhm,
okay, we will give you. But as we are giving you, we will also, that we are sending you message.
mhm,
And the message we are sending you is that we want you to go there and bring us, you know, bring one solution to our community. Maybe we want you to go there and bring safe, portable drinking water to our
mhm,
community. Yes. So when you have that agreement, community leaders visiting these representatives,
mhm,
with their goodwill to say, ha, congratulations, sir, we have given you our mandate. So
mhm,
now we want to say, remind you what we would need. Because obviously you are going there to solve problems. You are not just going there to go and sit down on the chair and do sitting. No, you are going there to say, my people are in need of so and so. And the
mhm,
government has, government has a role to play. Government does not just have a role. Government has to provide these amenities to these people.
mhm,
So you are the leader, it is your call to say, government, I am here as a representative of my community. And this
mhm,
is what my community needs. And the government will say, okay, bring your needs. We are collecting needs. We are putting them together. So we know how to allocate resources to these needs.
mhm,
Do you understand? And then as you keep reminding him, government collects these things, government allocates them. It might come this year, it might come next year, it might come next 2 years. But the most important thing is that you are in constant communication with your leaders. You have
mhm,
their phone numbers, you have their emails. Each community leader, you should be able to have the phone numbers and the emails of your representatives, whether it's House of Representative member, whether it's House of Assembly member, whether it is the senator in charge of your community. As a community leader, it is on you to know these
mhm,
people. Because I
mhm,
don't know what you are doing as a community leader if you do not know your representative, and if you don't have a rapport, if you don't have a relationship with your representative, you have no you have no reason being a leader for that community, because that community needs somebody who will connect them to the person who will take their problem to where the solution will come from.
mhm,
And if you are there and you don't know the people who you have sent to go and bring solutions to the problems around you, then that means you have already failed as a community leader.
mhm,
And then if you are a community leader and you are having problem with your representatives who are representing you at the table where solutions are supposed to come from, you have also failed, because you may not be able to get any the sustainable developmental projects around you.
mhm,
Come to think of it, you are not even supposed to have problem with your representatives, because you are supposed to work hand in hand to bring development to your people.
mhm,
You are not there on your own accord. You are there representing the community. And so you
mhm,
work together in good partnership with the people representing you at the table. You at the community level, and you have the representatives either at the state level or at the federal level. So you work together with these ones to ensure that they are bringing solutions to the problems in your community. It is not by force. You're not going to force them, but you're going to have a good rapport with them. You're going to keep communicating with them. You're going to keep reminding them. Because most times when people occupy these positions, one, there are a lot of issues around them that make them forget. Two, there are a lot of forces also that come into play that may make them be distracted from what actually they went there to do. So constant communication is very important so that they are constantly being reminded of what actually took them to the place, of the reason why the people gave their mandate to them. Yes, so that they keep remembering that as they sit on their seat in their office every day, they remember that, look, I am not here on my own accord. The people have given me their mandate. I am a representative of the people. And the reason why I am here is to bring development to my people. So when that communication is ongoing and they understand it, and you keep reminding them, then because the money is not their money, the money is government money, and this money has been meant for development. And so if they are there and they are not able to bring home the one that is meant for their communities, then they themselves have also failed as a leader. So you are just practically helping them to become a success as leaders by reminding them of those things. Yes. And so they themselves will also appreciate the fact that you are helping them to become a success in what they are doing. And with that, everybody is happy because at the end, the community, there is development in the community. If they went there and the community said we need potable drinking water, they themselves, by the time they finish their tenure and they come back to the community, when they look back 3 years, 5 years after, they would be able to say, wow, I am so grateful that I made use of that opportunity that I had to be able to bring solution to the problem in my community. I mean, who would not be happy? Everybody will be happy, yes.
Yeah.
And that is the core of what we are talking about.
Yeah, and you bring a good point because sometimes we think it's just one person, but as you said, it's a constant communication. Everybody has a role
All
to
hands
be
have
able
to
to
be
be
on deck.
successful. So
Yes.
you have
Exactly.
collaboration is key. You
This
have
is
to
the partnership.
collaborate and
Yes.
understand, what each other wants, and
Yes.
create a situation where there's a win-win situation for the
Exactly.
community and a win-win situation for the representative. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if for the representative there's no win as well, then it's not going to put any effort. So this collaboration, partnership, communication are really key points. And it's important that the community leaders and the community also understand that it's not just about asking. You have to sit down, talk, and sometimes negotiate because
Yes.
it's yes, you elected this person, but you need to
Yeah.
make them understand where you see the value. It's not just
Yeah.
about giving and demanding. And like you said, it's not, you don't have to do it by force.
By
You
force,
also
no.
negotiate and you get this constant communication going on. So
You're
I
right.
hope, Tina, you happy with the answer that Mama SDG gave you. Let us know. So I wanted to ask you, Yetunde, what are the key challenges that you have? Because you work with a younger population. How do you maintain this communication that AJ is talking about? Because that's very important also for the youth. And what are the key tools and strategies that you use when there are challenges?
So usually, yeah, because they are close by, we don't do what's it called, the market kind of marketing. Well, we don't reach out to them on the streets by going out and then like evangelizing. No, but what we do is, for example, I get invitation to talk at some events, maybe churches or I get parents who come around and they're like, oh, my daughter, I want her to come and learn computer. Oh, my son, he's currently not doing anything. I want to get them engaged. And so for me, usually when they come in, there are forms they fill, and these forms are majorly to help them understand their temperament. There is the disc test. There are different forms they fill where we ask questions. And after that, there is they get it to read a book. There's this book written by I forgot the name of the author. Someone took it and didn't bring it back. It's like the first book that everyone reads when you're coming in here. It's titled Life. Deal with it. So you read that book, you summarize it, and then the next thing I want to know is, so what are your aspirations? Sometimes when parents bring their children, and my question is to the child is, are you sure your mommy is not forcing you to take this? If your mommy forced you, my own job is to tell them the benefits of taking this and how it has helped me over the years. So if it's something you're interested in, then go for it. If you're not interested in it, go find the one that you're interested in.
We can't hear you anymore.
Nobody should be forced. You should, if you're not interested in that thing and then you're being forced, then you may be doing the wrong.
Hello, Yetunde. We lost you. You lost the sound. Are you muted?
Hello?
Are you okay? Yes, hello. You're back now. Hello. You're muted now. And okay, hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I don't think anybody, not even a child, can you, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is it back? Am I back with you guys?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
so
hear you.
Nobody should be forced to take a course.
The connection is really bad. Hello. So I think let's have a break, and then we'll come back. And as you know, Mama SDG has a lot of talent. So she sings as well. So we're gonna have the opportunity to listen to one of her songs, and then we'll be back with you, Yetunde, because the connection is not really good, so we can't really get everything that she says. So I'll be back with you later, but let's just listen to the beautiful voice of Mama SDG.
We trust you, and we know that without you we are helpless. So we put our hope and trust in you. Stay safe, my people. Do not be afraid. Always wash your hands regularly. Use hand sanitizer. Don't shake hands. Don't give hugs. Don't be a vessel. This too shall pass. Stay safe, my people. Do not be afraid. Always wash your hands regularly. Use hand sanitizer. Don't shake hands. Don't give hugs. Don't be a vessel. This too shall pass. Baba God, we calling, crying out to you. In you we know we are secured. We trust you, and we know that without you we are
back and with Mama SDG, beautiful, beautiful voice, and talking about COVID-19. So let's continue, Yetunde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mama SDG, that was a really great one. I think this is the second or third time I'll be seeing that video. Yeah, well done, well done. You're doing great. Well done. Yeah, I like that. COVID-19, you call Jalo. That's my dialect now. You call Jalo. Yeah.
I took it to the Hausa, I took it to the Yoruba, and I also took it to the Igbo people.
Well done. Fantastic.
Taking it to the grassroots, taking it to the community, taking it to where we have the population, taking it to the people that who need the information the most.
Yeah. It's good. Well done. So when they come around, we tend to want to understand them. Some of them go as far as opening up. Some of them go as far as telling us, how they don't want something and their parents want them to have it. Some of them, those things we'll see in their character, their character traits. The ones that, seriously, one thing I know is there is a limit to how much I can help you as a person or whoever I'm handing you over to. You will still go home and you meet with your parents. We always like them to have fun. For example, like, okay, I think we stopped that recently. Fridays is for fun. So sometimes, even when you want them to do the extra work, like, okay, yeah, there's an assignment to be done, they tend to want to become playful. It's something that I'm trying to see how we can make that adjustment here. In, a typical Nigerian teenage, like, okay, when they come sometimes, some of them, they finish from maybe public school, and some of them, they finish from private school. You see how frustrating some of them are to their teachers. So this first point of warning I give them is, sometimes you make your teacher, you sound like your teacher hates you. Your teacher, most times they don't hate you, but you have characters that don't make them love you enough. This teacher will put in a whole lot of effort to study, to learn. They've gone to school and they've done a whole lot of things. Now they are trying to impart knowledge on you, but you're trying to, play smart on them. And I think a lot of young people do that, and we tend to accept it, and it becomes a part of their lives. And for us, we want to change that. Honestly, it's good to have a good sense of humor, but when you start abusing it to the point where it starts affecting some other people, like for example, people see me as I have tough skin, and it doesn't even bother me when you do anything that I just tell you straight. I got to that point. Yeah, formerly I used to be very loving. I want to be kind, but I discovered that sometimes when you do that to them, they abuse it. They become, when you're too soft on them, they abuse it. So you need to let them know that it's a serious business. Life is a serious business. So you have to deal with it. Don't say, because I'm soft on you. Nigerians know how to play on your intelligence. Sometimes they want to feel, this person is soft. Okay, let me play on it. So these young people, that's where it starts from. No, that's where it starts from. I meet with a lot of them, and I see it most times. So when you want to correct it, just like when Jesus Christ wants to send the devil out of people, he shouts, yes, he yells sometimes at them to make them sit right, like, come on, bring your brain back to yourself and then think straight. So for us, we want to understand, what are your aspirations? Sometimes when I ask them, where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? When do you see yourself in the next? Sometimes now you just finished secondary school and then your plan is to get into the university, and then now in 2 years you are still in school. So sometimes I want to ask that question to know how intelligent they are. Like, if I say, some of them will say, I want to be working. And I'm like, okay, so when are you going to go to school? So that means you're not thinking straight. So we want to help them, bring them back to the consciousness of, you need to think through life. You need to be present in the now to understand that everything you're doing, you must plan for it. So you don't just go out there and mess things up or mess people up with your, your carelessness. A lot of them have careless attitude. So these are the things that we try to do. So from the forms they fill, some of them fill the form carelessly. And then I can sit them down and say, okay, you filled this. What does it mean? I don't understand. And I'm like, okay, so we'll help you to understand. Because seriously, let's face reality. I've checked some people's history. You see them, and then why do you think, we have some local government councillors, and then they are looking at them as they don't know what they are doing? It's because they did not plan ahead. They only have interest in, if you enter into that place, you make a lot of money. Some parents are interested in, if I should push my child to get into that place, there's a lot of money to be stolen. Some people have the mindset of, it is national cake, let's continue to cut it. And so when you are done cutting it, we don't have any treasure anymore. So our own job is call their attention to it. This thing, sometimes I don't know how much effect, because I cannot go on there. I can't be on their inside, and they are not going to be with me for so long. They would leave, but some of them will think about it. I've met with some who said, that thing that you told me, it's true, this and blah, 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 like that. But most times we will fight through it because they don't understand it. At that point, it's just like a new introduction. So something that is just being introduced to them. So they don't understand it. Sometimes I get to that point where I also want to feel irritated about them. Yes, I've actually felt irritated about some young people that I had to open the doors. Sorry, this is the door. This is the exit door. But the truth is, after a while, I still allow you to come back. Yeah, sometimes they get me to that level sometimes. So for us, these are we do most of it. We do one-on-one most times. It works for me because I don't want some people when they're in the crowd, they tend to, like Madam SDG said, some people are distracted, naturally distracted. So when they're in the crowd, they are not mindful. So what they see somebody else doing, they pick it. They learn a lot of wrong things from people, bad habits, bad attitude, and they feel, it's the in thing, it's what's in vogue, or it's what my friend is doing, so it's correct. I'll give you an example, though I think it's an outdated example, but I would like to share it again. Those days when I used to go to secondary schools, I spoke with a lot of teenagers in the senior classes. And so a girl, I think she was in SS2 then, got up to tell me that that they know that when they get to the university, they have to sleep with their lecturers to pass. I said, really? I said, where did you get this from? She said, that's what their aunties told them. I said, that's wrong. Do you know that I did not do that? And then let me tell you something. Some people, they do things and they are feeling guilty and they're looking for more people to join them. So that's what those ladies are doing to you. Do not accept it. So I gave them an example. There was a time when I was I think I was in 200 level. Yeah. Then I used to be a Muslim actually. And then I used to cover. So there's this Muslim lecturer. I did nothing. I was just holding my phone. And you know what he did? He seized my phone, claiming that I was disturbing his class with the phone. And that was not true. So in my mind, I knew this guy is just a liar. Okay, no problem. You can have the phone. I never for once go back to him to ask for the phone. So I think he saw me as a strange person. He had to ask them to bring my phone to me. So I did not go. I don't even, okay, I think I know, I've been to his office once, maybe because we needed to sign something. I never went there. So I told them, that's not true. If you study hard and do what you should do, and with God on your side, prayerfully, you will pass and then you will escape it. Let nobody teach you the wrong thing. A lot of adults are teaching, because when I sit down to listen to, sometimes I just want to listen to them. I'll just engage them in a talk. I want to hear what's in their minds, what's in their head. Some of them are assuming that, because this person is big, so the person did something. Because this person is going up and down with this man, they are dating. No, you don't know. If you don't ask questions, you will not get the right answers. Fine. Sometimes you ask questions and they give you fake answers. Continue to search. Something in your spirit, something in your instinct tells you that this is wrong and that I shouldn't do it. So that's how I engage with them. And then, trying. Sometimes I just send them to some friends that could help them, or some of my friends that come around, and then we just engage them. Sometimes we can just sit down and then we're gisting, and then we're asking questions, we're talking. It can be an adult. Okay, sir, share your experience with these young people. So that's how we work.
But it's very difficult, because if people who are close to them are actually giving them the wrong information, what impact can you have? That's the thing, because they spend most of their time with those people.
With them,
so when
exactly.
It's very difficult to change
let them
mindset,
think straight. Yes, yes. But for some of them, they do change. For some of them, they see it as strange that I have a lot of books, and they are wondering, do you sell them? I say no. As long as you come in here, you pick one of the books, you read them. In fact, I will suggest books to them per time, based on their aspirations, based on the things that we've discussed. I'll just say, pick this, go and read. Some of them, they find it difficult to return the books they've read. And I will tell them, can you see that attitude? That's how you will go into the government coffer and then borrow money that you will not return. And they're like, I'm like, yes, be conscious of it. So that's what we do. That's what we do when, yeah. And then sometimes we try to organize a program outside of the office, like maybe Children's Day. Yeah, on Children's Day, that one is constant. There are others that we have been struggling to really, make a constant, but I'm sure we're going to get there. But for Children's Day, we make sure that every year we bring them together, and then we invite adults based on, like last year, I think we did something on mental health. The year before last year, we did something on friendship. Who are the people they should call friends? Who are the people they should open up to, and what have you? And then we started since 2016, and it's been continuous. We are going to be having another one this year. So that's been constant. Then during now please take note, we are not NGO. Like I said, I started this because I have interest in ISR, individual social responsibility. I don't join people to say, oh, this government is bad, this person is bad, this. I really don't know how to do it. Well, I think that's how I was brought up. So I don't know how to do that. And so the only thing I know how to do is, okay, what can I do to correct that? How many people can I reach out to? And so I started, and then I found some people were able to join, and then they love what I do. And then they're like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, let's do this together. And that's how it started. So I run a business actually. We are, yes. So what we do is we run business. We do like business. We offer business services, tech, and administration. Yeah, tech and administration. For every other project that you see, I think I portray more of my passion, or something that I think I am passionate about. So my work is more of business support and what have you. But my passion is what most people see, and they think, oh, she's running a foundation, she's running NGO. No, it's just something that I felt, oh, I want to do. And then whenever I know, oh, okay, yes, I can afford to, put this much money in it, okay, let's do it. Oh, I don't have this much fund. So sometimes it doesn't look like, oh, this year we did 160, next year 1,000. Most times we don't do that. I just look at it, okay, I think I can let go of this. Okay, if we find people to support us, we'll be able to do much more. If not, this is what we are going to be able to do. So that minimum that we have set. And so the maximum will now be the extra support that we're able to get from people who love what we're doing.
So it's basically social.
I don't know if I've answered the question. Something I have not responded.
It's basically social enterprise. It's not NGO in
individual social responsibility. Yes.
Yeah.
And so we found yeah. No. So we found that United Nations goals. We discovered that, okay, this is where we are playing. And so that's why it looks like we mentioned that, like, okay, we are contributing to the goals with what we're doing. So that is goal 3. But when we say goal 4, when we say goal 1, when we now say goal 1 is 0 and what's it called? Poverty.
0.
To reduce
no poverty. No poverty, goal 1. Goal 2, 0 hunger.
Yeah, there's that's goal 1. So when we say goal 1, our own goal 1 is mind down. What's it called? We don't want, when we say poverty, poverty. Most times people think about food. But for us, we are thinking about the mind.
Poverty is the mentality.
If you are mindful, and then you escape the poverty of the mind, then the food thing will be easy for you to So that's why we added one. Like, yeah, the mental, yeah. So the mental poverty is what we're talking about. And when we talk about 17, we want to work with a lot of people. Like we work with some other organization, like there are organizations that I train with on business ideation, on emotional intelligence, on sales. Yeah, some of them I don't mention them. I have NGOs also that invite me, okay, come and teach these teenagers on business planning. Yeah, I write business plan, I teach them how to, you know,
Okay, so we're gonna have the last
write it
break and
all
then conclude on the
so that they can have
show as
something
well.
to do with their life.
You're breaking up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a break and then we're gonna conclude on the show on knowing exactly, where you really want to be and as far as the SDG is concerned. So we'll be back in a few minutes. So we are back. We are back for the last part of the show. And my question, and I love this question, is, Mama SDG, I'm going to start with you, is what is the legacy that you want to leave? I mean, you've been contributing to your community, adding so much value. So what's next? What's next, for you? What is the legacy?
Wow, the legacy I would like to leave you see, I want to follow the footsteps of my late father. My father was an educationist, and his legacy is education. My father made sure everybody around him, if you can pass your exams, my father will put you in school. Make sure everybody around him got education, except the ones who didn't want to get. You get it? So my own legacy as well, doing the footsteps of my father is education. I would like to make sure that if people get the information, my father will put you in school. Make sure everybody around. Sorry, there's an echo.
There's an echo, please, ladies.
Yes, there's an echo. Okay, so my legacy is education as well. Prior to now, I have been educating people around me, even the global community, on how to be a part, how to join in the call for sustainable development. Because in 2015, the United Nations made a universal call for everybody to come on board to be part of the implementation of the SDGs. They called people to come on board as individuals, as organizations, as NGOs, as churches, people who are faith based, as mosques, whatever it is you are doing, as limited companies, limited liability companies, as even profit making organizations. Everybody is part of this call to come on board. Even the people who believe that they cannot be part of the call, incidentally, they are all part of the call. So they should not leave themselves behind because there is already a call for them to come on board. So prior to now, I've been trying to disseminate that information for people around me to know that this thing is not just their thing, that they themselves personally have a role to play, talking about Agenda 2030 and the world creating the world that we all would like to see by the year 2030. And so now we are in the decade of actions. Since last year, 2020, the Agenda 2030 has entered a decade of actions. So from now to the year 2030, it's going to be action. It's going to be actions, implementations, and people bringing on board what they have, their skills, their talents, their money, their expertise, their resources, their what have you, to make sure that that picture of the world we would like to see by the year 2030, we actually bring it into reality. And so, personally, for me and my organization, we would soonest will be starting another series of teachings around education. You know, I'm a healthcare practitioner. I'm a physical therapist by profession, by the way. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that I am a healthcare practitioner, or even that I have something regular that I do. I do. I go to work every day. I see patients every day. People coming with back pain, people coming with knee pain, arthritis, all sorts, and I manage them. Weaknesses, spasticity, all this and that, and I manage basically pain and all that. So apart from that, I am starting another series of teachings too around education, but this time around we will be looking at peace. We'll be looking at peace. How do we get to have peace around us? How do we end all these extremisms, violent extremisms, all these kidnappings, all these killings here and there? How can we have a mentality of live and let live? How do we get people to understand that I, as a person, have a right to choose who I would like to be with, that I have a right to choose the religion that I would like to be on, that I have a right to choose what job I would do, that I have a right to choose if I would like to go to school or not. So we need people to understand that where their own right ends, as in saying that if I belong here, then I must not exist. My own right also starts there, saying that I have a choice to make and I have the right to choose if I want to be there or not. And I think until we get to that point, until people get to understand it, some of the people who do some things in names of religion or in names of other things may not really know that what they are doing is actually not right. So we will be taking up those series of teachings in a few weeks to come. We'll be starting those teachings around SDG Goal 16, which talks about peace, justice, and strong institution.
Fantastic.
But basically, all around, all of it is centered around education and lifelong learning. Yes, centered around education. That is my legacy. Thank you.
So it starts with education and
Awareness
like you said,
creation, information sharing, and all that. Yeah,
because
yeah.
people need awareness before they can,
They
take
can
the
be
right
able to
action.
make a
Yeah.
decision. Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the key. So Yetunde, what is the legacy that you're working toward? What's next for you? Yetunde, are you there? I think you're muted. I had to mute you because there was a lot of echo. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Can you
Yes,
hear
I
me
can
now?
hear you. Yes.
Okay, so we want our legacy is actually to, well, me personally, I want a situation whereby if I am desiring to be served, I also must be able to serve excellently so that whatever I give, I get back in return. Instead of expecting to get and get and get and get and get and get without even thinking about giving. So I want to have a community, or I want to have a lot of people around me who have that mindset of what can I give to ensure that the peace that I need, the development that I need, the growth that I look forward to happens with the little seed that I am going to sow, and then we see it germinating into a big or giant tree. So that's just my own legacy. Yes, it's around education. We need you to be aware. We need you to have light. I don't know, if you go to our website, www.mydreamconnect.com.ng, and you check the About Us, you will see that we are most interested in having people who have understanding. We want to be able to help a lot of people have understanding of what it means to be the best version of who they are. Because we believe here that everybody is supposed to be leading in one way or the other. But for you to become that leader, there is something in you that needs to come out first. If you are not acting responsibly, there's every possibility that you're going to mess up yourself and mess up many people that are going to be following you. So as a leader, where you are,
Hello. I think you muted yourself again for some reason. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me? All right. So as a leader, whether you are a prefect in school, that's where we even started from. We used to bring in school prefects, and we teach them what it means to be a prefect. It's not just by the title, but it's by what can you bring to, what change can you make during that 1 year period that you're serving as a prefect? What value are you going to add to your friends, even class captains? That's how we started. Well, then I would just come up with, okay, so these young people that they're calling leaders, do they really understand it? So our own interest is in helping these young people understand what leadership means early enough, so that by the time they get to that place where they are going to lead this country aright, they know what to do. Lead this country aright, whether nationally or internationally. Now we go out there, and then I saw a video went viral recently of a Nigerian boy, I think, who is trying to scam some white guys because he needed money for education. I don't like that. I don't want us to have that anymore. So my interest is in correcting these errors in the minds of a lot of young people. Maybe I will share the video with you later on. I'm like, no, what can we do to correct it? Because when you engage your hands, you definitely will receive a reward back in return. If not from human, God will always open the doors and, make regardless. So my interest is in seeing a lot of responsible young people. I mean, responsible young people. And this will mean that they must have understanding. For responsibility to happen, there must be understanding. And then when you have understanding, then you can add value. Thank you very much. That's my.
Thank you very much, and it's been very insightful. And like I said, you guys are doing so much on the ground. It's not always reflected back outside your community. So I'm happy that people have been able to understand, the amount of work that you're doing, Mama SDG doing the work and on the grassroots, and you yourself taking care of the next, the next generation, and that's where, the challenge is making sure that, we bring this next generation, and so that they learn from our mistakes and open up to the right values, instead of, carrying on and adding to the negativity and the bad values that we've seen so far.
That is already existing.
Happening. That is already existing. So that's all for today. For the audience, I hope that you manage, whoever is going to watch the replay or whoever has been able to watch the show, to take notes and get in contact with Yetunde and Mama SDGs. We lost Mama SDGs because of the connection, but I hope she's gonna watch the end of the show, and just want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
insight. Thank you so much for what you do, because you obviously it takes, like Mama SDG was saying, is that she has her own job on to do, but still she finds the time to really put the effort to make sure that she create a better world for the communities, and really going in the grassroots and creating the awareness and the education. And like we said, education is key for Africa. It's really the basis of everything. Create awareness and educate people, not just the formal education, but everything else, the education of life, the education about values, education about the mindset. And those are the things that going to change Africa. Those are the things that's going to help us to implement, successfully the sustainable development goals. So that's all for today. Thank you. And I wish you to have, a great day, end of your day, and a great weekend.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you for having me.
can I quickly say something?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah, my last message is this. Hey, you, if you can hear the sound of my voice, I would like to ask you, what mental picture, what is the world you would like to see by the year 2030? Put it down on a piece of paper. You can draw it. Draw the things you would like to have around you, the people, the kind of people, the kind of development you would like to have, the kind of amenities you would like to have by the year 2030. And then look at it. Which one of it is the one that you are so emotionally attached to, that you feel that if you don't have this, you don't think your life would be fulfilled or complete? Please start on that. Get one or two other people who feel the same way.
So make sure, like Mama SDG was saying, make sure that do you know what is the world that you would like to see by the year 2020, 2030? That's what's going to drive you.
Make you a
That's
better
what's
person
gonna,
and make you a fulfilled person by the year. Yeah, to make you a fulfilled
person at the end of the connection is just losing us right now, so just kicking us out. And so I mean, we've been able to have a great discussion, a
take
great
this same dream
conversation.
too, who have this same dream too, and then begin to work on it. So that by the time you look back, before you know it now, your 2030 will be here. So by the time you look back,
Okay, so I mean, it's a shame, because I think it's a great message that she wanted to pass.
my
But
message to everybody. Very grateful.
yeah, so we will have to call it a day, and so that's gonna be the end. And I'm gonna be back next week. And next week we're gonna talk about STEM next Friday, and it's gonna be interesting, all the opportunity that STEM offer. And we will be going to Greece this time, so understand what are the opportunities for STEM with Rani. Rani, she's a teacher of STEM, and she worked with the minister as well. So really a great conversation anticipated on STEM, and I'm really looking forward to host her next week. So until now, thank you so much. Thank you, Yetunde. Mama SDG, if you're watching this, thank you very much. And for the rest, it's gonna be see you next time.